the Bach Jig Partita in B flat, from the Partita in B flat. So we're on measure 24. Anyways, all right, so we have this. It's really dramatic, but you know what? It's just outlining the basic minor chord. It's really, really, really quite simple if you know two things. So this is a G minor chord. G minor chord has 3 notes. G, B flat, and D, okay? This little figure here is starting up at the top, and it's playing, basically outlining that G minor chord for like 3 octaves, but it's just G, B flat, and D. It's just this, okay? So we start here, and we kind of move the chord down. That's all we're doing. We're playing the G minor chord with some neighbor embellishments. So let's talk about what neighbors are. When you have a chord tone, one of these 3, and you play a dissonant note that's right next to it, okay, one of these chord tones has a neighbor. That's a lower neighbor. Okay, so this is the lower neighbor of the D chord tone, all right? This is the upper neighbor of the D chord tone. So there are upper neighbors, there are lower neighbors, but when you play a note that's just right next to a member of the chord, it's just called a non-chord tone. It's called, there are a couple of names for it. I'll just call it a neighbor, but it could also be called an appoggiatura, or a suspension, depending on how it's used harmonically. But anyway, let's just call it a neighbor for now. An upper neighbor, a lower neighbor, but basically what we're doing is we're ornamenting a G minor arpeggio going down. It's as simple as that, okay? So even though it seems complicated, we've got, oh my gosh, we've got flats, we've got sharps, it's moving both directions. It's like down and then up, and then where are we going? How come I don't have consistency here? Sometimes it's a flat, sometimes it's a sharp. Why do we have both? Because we're in minor, that's why, because we have leading tones that are sharp and we have minor tones that are flat, but it's just this G minor chord, okay? So in order to sort of find your bearings, just hold down those chord tones. Hold down the G minor notes as you go through all of these different things that are going. So we're ornamenting around the G minor arpeggio. And anytime we jump, we're jumping to the lower neighbor and then resolving up to the chord tone, okay? So really, the motion is going from this chord tone to that chord tone. But we decided to be fancy with it. We're gonna go a little too far and swoop back up. Okay, so we're just kind of like scooping our way down this arpeggio. So right in here, that's a lower neighbor. This is an upper neighbor scooping us down to that B. A lower neighbor scooping us back up to the D again. So that hopefully will help to take a bunch of random sharps and flats and place them in the structure of the G minor harmony. So we're outlining the G minor arpeggio, which is the G minor chord played note by note from top to bottom. And we're just jumping a little bit too far to that lower neighbor and resolving it to the chord tone over and over again. Okay? Hopefully that'll help.